When they saw that joke about reservation, they got really angry and they gathered a mob online because the Wi-Fi was really good.
Hello and welcome to Do I Like It, a Quint production where we review anything and everything under the sun. मेरा नाम है प्रतीक लिद्धू and in this episode I'll tell you do I like the special Alive and Vaccinated by Daniel Fernandes. Now, even though I'm not crazy about Daniel Fernandes, I have always appreciated him for being a very sharp guy, a very keen observer of society. I loved his podcast, you started it, not the online Zoom call version, the OG Cuckoo Club version. That's actually how I first got introduced to Kunal Kamra. So, ये review ना ध्यान से सुनना. This is not like a hate and a troll review. Because I have spent time with this special. ये special 2 हफ्ते पहले आया था. And I'm only talking about it now because I want to gather my thoughts and not sound like either a troll or a fanboy. So bear with me. I think Daniel Fernandes should leave stand-up comedy. Let's discuss in this episode of Do I Like It? So, Daniel Fernandes dropped his special Alive and Vaccinated on his YouTube channel to be viewed for free on a pay-as-you-like model. And I'm Chindi, so I have watched the special but haven't paid him anything yet. So yeah, that's what's up. The special talks about Danny's experience with the pandemic, cancel culture, quote, woke people, etc. And his takes are pretty profound when he says that the cancel mob only has one agenda, to make people apologize. There's a lot of weight in that statement. It made me think a lot. And even the jokes that came with this were pretty smart. Highbrow humor जिसे कहते हैं. But the central question is, are these smart jokes actually funny? I think funny, yes. But ekdam laugh out loud, ha 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 ha, funny? No. And it's absolutely okay. Or as Seinfeld would say, not that there's anything wrong with that. Because comedy isn't just about kiki kaka and laughs and ha 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 ha. Aaj ke time pe, with so much hate rate around, this climate change, a damn pandemic that took so many lives, it's important to make people uncomfortable, and that's exactly what he does. But the biggest issue with this kind of comedy is that it's hard to sustain it for long. And this special is an hour and 40 minutes. But after the first 30 minutes, I was just watching it with a straight face because shock and discomfort can only last you so long. और ऐसा भी नहीं है that it's just cheap shock value stuff कि तुम बस sex की बात कर रहे हो या तुम बस एक गाली दे दी तो shock हो गया, oh wow. The first 30 minutes actually had some really nice bits where he asked some important questions of the current dispensation. But, and it's a big but, it wasn't enough. See, the joke can't just be that we can't joke about Modi and the BJP. तुमने चाय का reference दे दिया, तुमने the religion that's in danger का reference दे दिया. And by the way, when he says this line, there was a huge oh from the crowd. And not laughs, not even chuckles of haha, and not even like, okay, nods of appreciation. It was oh. And I honestly think comedians should be very careful of playing to this oh wali gallery because it's a very slippery slope. It's something that Kunal Kamra has fallen into in the past. And I think his latest special, Be Like, was an attempt to sort of get out of that rut. कि हाँ भाई मैं political comedy करूँगा, but it won't be your kind of political comedy. It won't be the American football kind of political comedy where the comedy is about bashing one person or one party just to make the other side happy. And it's not like Danny cannot do good political jokes. His rice bag wala bit was so witty, but these kind of bits were few and far between. I was literally looking at my YouTube कि भाई कितना बचा है, और as soon as that toxic positivity wala bit started, I just laughed or even chuckled once in that whole bit, and it was like a बहुत लंबा bit था, it even felt longer. And उसके बाद it just went downhill until the last 20 minutes, which is where the special sort of got its mojo back. So basically start के 30 minutes and end के 20 minutes. तो हो गया around 50 minutes, 45 to 50 minutes में this special really shocked me, surprised me, and I think that was the best part. But beach का सारा fluff was hard to go through. But again, even in the last 20 minutes, it couldn't keep from playing to the ooh wala crowd, I'll explain with a small example. अब कॉमेडी में ना एक चीज़ होती है टैग. टैग बेसिकली क्या होता है कि तुमने अपना जोक सेटअप कर दिया, पंचलाइन मारी, एक बड़ा लाफ आया है ना, and then you want to sustain that laughter for longer, so you add छोटू jokes which are like tangential ideas related to the main punchline. And the mark of a good tag is whether you can recover and breathe from the main punchline as an audience. The best tags are those कि जब तुम हंसना बंद करो, तुम ऐसे सांस लेनी शुरू कर रहे हो हंसने के बाद, और नया जोक एक आता है जो तुम्हें एकदम ऐसे चांटे की तरह लगता है. It's like COVID ki waves actually. And I think the perfect example of this in the context of political stand-up is Manik Mahana. He is a comedian from Delhi, I think. And his tags are insane. And the way he delivers them also is ऐसा एकदम straight face से बोलता है. और तुम्हें लगता है कि oh, okay, something is coming. And he completely flips that. बहुत ही like impressive stuff. And he's actually like one of my favorite political comedians. Going back to Danny. Towards the end of this special, Danny talks about the perception that Indian comedians only target Hindus and they only make Hindu-phobic jokes. जिसके reply में he says, no, we are not Hindu-phobic. He says this really nice, funny line that we are not an organized unit that selectively targets the people of a specific religion. Genius line, so subtle, big laugh, ooh, clap, सब कुछ हो रहा है, एकदम मस्त. But then he decides to have a few tags, and his first tag was, if comedians were targeting a religion, we would stand a chance at winning a general election. You know, explaining the first joke, essentially, saying that the party in power targets a specific religion. Okay, the next tag was, if we were targeting a religion, we would have had Prime Minister Kunal Kamra. Now, do you notice something? All these three jokes are the same. तो तुमने essentially एक ही thought को 3 बार बोल दिया. Again, you get the oohs and claps and all, but laughs, I am not sure. But after all of this, there was a silver lining. The last bit about Jesus, Buddha, and going to a bar. It's one of the best bits I've heard in a while. But sadly, I had to endure an hour of half-baked jokes for this. And see, the final punchline shows his skill as a writer. But then what about the rest of the fluff? And this is why I say Daniel Fernandes should leave stand-up comedy and start a podcast. Because he is an astute critic of our society, witty as hell. But when it comes to the medium of stand-up, I think he's a bit of a one-trick pony. I'll give you the perfect example. Andrew Schulz. Not the best comedian. Basic shock value stuff, insult comedy, sex jokes, racial humor. It gets played out pretty quick. But his podcast, Flagrant, with Akash Singh, is the best thing on the internet. Matlab, hands down. I have literally missed my meetings because I wanted to listen to the podcast. And by the way, to my editor, Shelly, this was in my previous company. The last meeting I missed was because my grandmother was sick. Mother promise. So I think I can see a similar trajectory for Danny. He's an awesome dude, really smart. But his 1 hour, 40-minute special worked for me only in parts. And Daniel, if you are listening to me, I really love you. I love your comedy. Always checking out for your stuff. But you already have a great podcast. I just wish you restarted it. See what I did there? And yes, those were my thoughts on Daniel Fernandes' special Alive and Vaccinated. तुम मुझे बताओ यार तुम्हें कैसा लगा ये special, and check out other episodes from Do I Like It and other amazing podcasts by the Quint. This was Prateek. I'll see you in the next one. Do I Like It is a Quint original podcast executive produced by Shelly Walia and Ritu Kapoor. This episode was hosted and produced by Prateek Lidhu and edited by Anjali Palod. The episode uses audio from Daniel Fernandes, Alive and Vaccinated, and the theme music is from BMG Production Music. You were listening to the Quint's podcast.